Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is my top 10 worst movies of 2024. Starting off at number 10 is Night Swim. Night Swim was a new Blumhouse supernatural horror movie that came out back in January of 2024. The movie had an interesting premise about a dark secret from the house's past which unleashes a malevolent force in the backyard pool. But the movie failed to deliver anything new, which was a huge disappointment. It's the same tropes that we've seen in many other horror movies. Night Swim was a total bore fest. At number 9 is Exorcism, a Russell Crowe movie that came out in the early summer of 2024. I have no idea why this movie was even made. Another messy exorcist movie that delivered nothing new, and I remember many parts of the movie made absolutely no sense at all. Russell Crowe previously played a priest in a much better movie back in 2023 called The Pope's Exorcist. Make sure you check out that movie instead of this one. Landing at number 8 is Monkey Man. I feel really bad putting this movie on my worst list because I really wanted to like this movie. This was Dev Patel's directorial debut, which he also stars in. The action fight scenes were just a copycat of the John Wick movies, and the story just did not entice me at all. I give props to Dev Patel, he's a good actor, but the movie itself just did not work for me. At number 7 is Bob Marley One Love. This is another movie that I feel sort of bad for putting it on my worst list. I love a good biopic, but Bob Marley One Love only focuses a short period of Bob Marley's life, which I thought was not good enough for the film to work. This movie was well acted, but I had a difficult time understanding this movie because of the heavy Jamaican dialogue used, and I think closed captions is really needed to fully understand the dialogue in my opinion. I am open to a rewatch, but as of now, it lands at number 7. At number 6 is The Strangers Chapter 1. Unfortunately, The Strangers Chapter 1 is just a basic carbon copy of the original 2008 movie, but with the main characters being dumbed down to the point where the movie just became laughable. There were a few minor scenes that were changed and switched up, but the movie was just plain awful. It was not scary at all since having seen the original, you already know what was going to happen to these characters. One positive note is that this is a trilogy, so there is some hope that Chapter 2 and 3 will be a vast improvement with original stories. But if you've already seen the 2008 movie, there's no need to watch this one unless you want to have a good laugh at these incredibly dumb characters. At number 5 is Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. This is the sequel to the horrendous Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. However, this sequel is considered a vast improvement over the first, but I may be part of the minority on this because I still found the first movie to be better and a lot more entertaining. I was turned off by the fact that this sequel made the first movie to be their own fictional movie within the movie, based on the events that occurred in their own universe, which meant we saw a different actor playing Christopher Robin this time around. I know it's confusing, but overall the sequel wasn't necessary. Sure, we saw more characters and better visual effects, but Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 was just a complete waste of time. At number 4 is I Saw the TV Glow. I will probably get a lot of flack for hating this movie because it's received a lot of rave reviews for its message about development of psychosis, and this movie has resonated with a lot of people. But unfortunately, this movie is not for me. I just didn't get it. I thought this movie was terrible. Everything was dark and miserable. The two main leads talk in such low, monotone voices like they're zombies. And I just could not get myself invested in these characters and the storyline. Anyone who has enjoyed this movie, feel free to let me know why I should give this movie another chance. At number 3 is The Crow, the 2024 remake starring Bill Skarsgård. This was a truly awful film. The story was an absolute mess with so many plot holes that made no sense. I did not care for the main characters since they made so many ridiculous choices which made me lose even more interest in the movie. A huge thumbs down for The Crow. I would avoid this movie at all costs. At number 2 is Out of Darkness, a horror movie that I regret watching. Out of Darkness is about a group of people trying to survive after reaching a desolate location. This was a tough movie to get through. Many of these characters were just one-dimensional with no redeeming qualities, and there were grotesque scenes of cannibalism that would make you sick to your stomach. I have nothing good to say about this movie. Out of the Darkness was the worst horror movie of 2024. So I'm going to cheat and have two movies tied at number 2. Drive Away Dolls is tied for second place, which is about two lesbian best friends on a road trip who become involved in a criminal scheme. I'm not going to give much explanation about why I dislike this movie so much. It's just awful. Not my cup of tea, and I just didn't get it. I remember sitting in my theater, never feeling so uncomfortable watching a movie before, and then asking myself, what am I watching? If you are curious about Drive Away Dolls, my advice would be to watch it by yourself, not with your parents. My number one worst movie of 2024 is Not Another Church Movie. This might actually be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not Another Church Movie is a parody of all the Tyler Perry movies. It follows a billionaire who answers a call from God to make a movie. I found Not Another Church Movie to be total garbage. There were scenes in this movie that were just cringeworthy and unfunny. It made absolutely no sense at all. I have no idea how this movie got greenlit and was able to have a wide release in theaters. This was just horrendous. Vivica A. Fox is in this. Where has her career gone to? She is so much better than this. Not Another Church Movie is so bad that it's my worst movie of 2024. Possibly the worst movie I've ever seen. So this was my top 10 worst movies of 2024. If you enjoyed my video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more future videos. Feel free to let me know what your worst movies of 2024 are in the comments below. If you haven't seen my favorite movies of 2024, make sure you check it out in the link above. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.